Thanks to Jeff. The roundtable now. Bill Kristol, editor of the Weekly Standard, Democratic strategist Donna Brazile, Illinois Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, and talk radio host Michael Smerconish, author of the new novel Talk. And Bill Kristol, I want to start with you. Your magazine said, quote, "We're guessing that Lewinsky's reemergence now, months before Hillary is likely to declare her candidacy, is probably being stage managed by some division or other of the vast pro-Hillary conspiracy, whether Lewinsky knows she's a pawn or not." Do you stand with that statement?
I stand with that guess.
It's
a little ironic. We're having a little lightheartedness about Monica Lewinsky. And
okay, how would that work, this conspiracy? Do you sit down with the Vanity Fair editors?
Yeah, well, you could. I believe Hillary Clinton knows the editors and the publishers of Vanity Fair, but that's not the issue, and I don't think Monica Lewinsky ultimately will be an issue one way or the other. Benghazi is a serious issue. Boko Haram is a serious issue. Monica Lewinsky isn't.
And Donna?
I don't think Monica Lewinsky coming out telling the American people her story, perhaps still seeking redemption, which we should give her, the relief of having this story out there once again. Look, if it didn't damage a sitting president 18 years ago, I don't believe it will hurt a presidential contender candidate 18 years later. Monica Lewinsky deserves every opportunity to go out there, tell the American people her story if that's what she wants to do, but I don't think it will have anything to do with Secretary Clinton's ability to run a good presidential campaign and win a campaign if she decides to do it.
I think the net is a zero or maybe a slight plus for Secretary Clinton.
I was going to ask that. Is there any plus in this for her?
It, I think, portrays her as a pathetic figure. I mean, it reminded me of all that she had to endure. I can't imagine, Martha, that there's someone in this country who says, well, I was going to cast a ballot for Secretary Clinton in 2016, but now I'm not going to do so because her husband cheated on her. I think it's also a sign of her resilience, because I read that portrayal and it reminded me, my God, like her or dislike her, Hillary's been through a heck of a lot and she's still standing.
Congressman, you're the youngest person here, okay? I think maybe by far. So you're younger than Monica Lewinsky. Isn't that terrifying to think that? So your generation, does this just pass? People don't care?
Yeah, well, I don't think the Lewinsky thing is going to matter. I mean, it's more of an intriguing story now, and finding it. She's sympathetic. I feel bad a little bit for her. I mean, she was young when this happened, and obviously everybody knows her name, and not for something she necessarily wants to be known for. But the bigger issue on the Hillary question, I don't think this is going to really affect Hillary. I mean, the thing that's really going to be bad is that I can't throw a dartboard at a world map now and hit within 100 miles of a place where there's either a war or an ally that no longer trusts us. And so I think that's going to be a much bigger issue if Hillary decides to take the plunge in 2016.
So you're saying her history as Secretary of State, and of course Benghazi came up again this weekend, and we'll have the committee investigating that.
Yeah, I think those are going to be bigger issues than Monica Lewinsky.
Depends what develops. I mean, I think up until this point, nothing from Benghazi has received traction apart from the GOP base. It's really the abortion of the 2014 cycle in terms of being used
as an issue, yeah.
Get out the vote. But to get out what vote? To get out the vote of the GOP base. The hearing I'd like to hear is the hearing that says what became of those individuals responsible for the deaths of 4 Americans and why haven't we brought them to justice? Not a hearing about emails and Ben Rhodes and what did he know and when did he know it.
I agree with Michael. I agree. I mean, there were 29 recommendations from the Accountability Relief Board, Review Board. We should be talking about what have we since Benghazi? What have we done to make Americans safer in our embassies in these dangerous places across the globe? There were 13 embassy attacks.
I want to stay with Hillary on this for a moment. And she was Secretary of State at
Absolutely, and she took responsibility.
But as you said, no one has really been held accountable in a larger way. Is this an issue going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we discussed Hillary Clinton at the beginning of this panel, Donna carefully said Secretary Clinton. I think that's absolutely right. Let's have the debate on Secretary of State of the United States, Hillary Clinton. What happened in Libya? We intervened. I supported that intervention. I think Adam did too. In the early 2011. What happened in Libya over the next year such that Benghazi got to the situation it was at? Why did Hillary Clinton say the video caused the terrorist attack when she knew, she must have known that it didn't?
But haven't they gone over and over and over that there have been investigations?
Right.
What's missing in terms of
the investigations? If I could just say, the White House, there have been investigations, and only last week did we get the White House email where Ben Rhodes says, let's blame it on the video. Let's blame it on the video.
There was nothing in that email that should have prompted the Republicans to call for another investigation. The reason why you're doing it, Congressman, is because the Republicans have no other issue to discuss. Health care is not an issue anymore. And because the chair of the Armed Services Committee basically said that there's no more there.
No, it's
now
because,
Mr. Boehner has to give the Republicans something to do this summer because you won't do your job.
When I went through survival training, I was told that your country will never leave you behind, and it will move heaven and earth to come get you. So if you find yourself behind enemy lines, don't worry, there's going to be an F-16 and some guys coming to get you at some point. That didn't happen. And the YouTube video, to me, is beyond just, the politics of it, and I get it, and that's an issue. It's the fact that there was an attempt by the administration to cheapen the death of 4 Americans and not give them their due rights of having died in the war on terror. Initially, they said it was because of a YouTube video. Not because of a war on terror.
No, that is not true. The president said that the day after this was an act of terrorism. And the administration has not only expressed regret for the lives of those American lost, but if you look at all of the reports that have come out about Benghazi, there's nothing in those reports that said the administration tried to prevent the Defense Department from doing its job. They wanted to get to those people. They wanted to help the Secretary.
They had 7 hours between the first and second attack.
And it was
I think this discussion shows there's a lot more to be discussed and a lot more to look at in this. Before we go to break, here's this week's Mother's Day-inspired powerhouse puzzler from our own Cokie Roberts, author of the book Founding Mothers.
Who was the first woman to give birth at the White House?
That's a tough one. Back in 2 minutes to see if the roundtable and you can guess the answer.
When I